We'll talk about canning fish. There are no shortcuts here. You have to really pay attention to what you're doing. Your jars have to be clean and ready to go. Your lids have to be ready to go. So this is a 16-quart pressure cooker. Fish has to be cooked a little longer. There's no shortcuts here. For a pint, and a pint is enough. Some people recommend that you don't do quarts. We've done them, but I am only going to do pints from here on out. That's enough fish for a setting. That's enough fish for a chowder.
Right.
That's enough fish to make sandwiches with, whatever you want to do. Tonight, we're going to do pints. 3 pounds of fish. Now, after doing this a whole lot, I figured out that 3 pounds of fish
Fills it up.
gets about 4 jars.
Right.
That's the minimum that you want to put in a 16-quart pressure cooker.
Right.
You want to do 4. So I'm heating the water up. I'm going to take my fish. Now you can soak this if you would like. You can soak this in pickling salt and rinse it off. Or you can take a little bit of salt and put in each container. Now under that pressure, it really cooks that salt and a little bit of pepper. It really cooks that flavor in. So I'm raw packing, which means I'm taking the pieces of meat and I'm just packing them as tightly as I can into these jars. Raw packing. What I want to do is push it down in there, get as much of the air pockets out as I possibly can. So we're just going to continue to cut this up in pieces.
If there's any bones, they'll just kind of disintegrate, don't they?
Unless there's some great big bones, which we've checked these for that. So with the raw packing, you want about 1 inch of head space. But I'm also going to take just a little bit, now this is pickling salt, just a little bit of salt. A little bit in the top. A little bit goes a long way, a little bit of pepper. Just gives it a nice flavor. Don't have to use much. Really, really, really gives it a nice flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna take just a little bit of vinegar. I'm gonna wipe that top off. Make sure there's nothing obstructing that lid. Put the lid on. Let me get that fairly tight. You notice I put 0 liquid in there. Now when the jar is finished, there will be liquid in there. It cooks that liquid out of it. And I'm gonna continue to do this for 4 jars. Now when this comes out, it's flaky, it's salty. It's got a good consistency. Next step, place our jars into the counter. You never want your water in your canner to be 2/3 full. You have to be real careful about that. I put a little extra water in this because of the amount of time that it takes to cook these.
Right.
Where deer or beef or chicken would be less time, you have to go with fish 100 minutes. That's 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at here. Now, a couple things you got to remember. Make sure your liner has no irregularities. Make sure that it's supple.
Right.
Make sure that it's not dry rotted, because a lot of times people wait 2 or 3 years before they use it.
Yeah.
Check that for sure. Also check your vent hole. That's the most important thing. Now this may seem strange, but you can blow through that. Make sure you can see through that. Make sure that that can vent. What happens if that can't vent?
Got an explosion.
Pressure cooker? You don't need
Through
that.
the ceiling.
So what we're going to do is we've checked all that. We're going to check the top. Get it on here. Okay, we're going to line our arrows up. We're going to seal this. Now you heard a little bit of pressure coming out there as well. Next is your weight. And you have to weight. W-A-I-T on your weight. W-E-I-G-H-T. This is 5 pounds. And each little ring is an additional 5 pounds of weight per pressure.
Right.
Now the thing about it is, if you are in an elevation above 1,000 feet, check your book. Check your book. We are not. So 10 pounds of pressure means 1 ring. Now I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I see steam coming out. Now once steam is coming out for about 10-15 minutes, it's already starting to bubble. Once the steam comes out for 10-15 minutes, then we place the jiggler, the weight on top. Once it starts jiggling, that's when you start your timer for 100 minutes or 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
All right, it's time for the jiggler. See how that instantly popped up?
Yeah.
It's ready.
Okay,
It's
good.
ready. It's now under pressure. Now, underneath that weight, enough pressure will eventually build so it'll start that to move.
Yeah.
And that'll be just enough pressure to where that rocks gently instead of blowing it through the roof,
That's not
which
good.
we don't want.
No.
Now, you can do this with salmon, you can do this with trout, but I'm telling you what, out of all the fish that I've had, I almost think that the big head, you've had it.
Oh yeah.
When Jim Doom Now he takes and makes like a tuna fish salad out of it, except with big head carp. It's
Right.
absolutely delicious.
We used crackers and we dipped. We made it like dip.
It's wonderful.
That's good.
Our jiggler is jigging.
That's what you want, right?
Our weight is functioning properly. This pops up in the early part. That makes all the steam come here.
Okay.
That's adequately applying 10 pounds of pressure. And we are on our way. Now, let's go sit down and have some lemonade.
Okay.
1 hour and 40 minutes. Okay, our hour and 40 minutes is up. We're going to turn this off. What'll happen, this will gradually die down. Our little indicator will pop down. At that point, your pressure is off enough so you can safely take the lid off. Now, I have seen people, old timers, they lift this up on the edge and
My
let a
dad
little bit
used to do that, yeah.
let a little steam off
Yeah.
here, let a little
Make
steam off
quicker.
there. I think it's better just to let it do its own thing.
Yeah.
When this pops down again, you won't hear the internal noises of the pan and all the boiling, and you're safe to take the lid off.
Yeah.
But don't push it. Don't push it. We got plenty of time.